tell them again, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. Yeah, we Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Rick flaring, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death. I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. One eye open like Betty Wops and find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry for spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness is really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up in Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase, yeah, Bubba C, yeah, Rick flaring on them, Rick flaring on them, Rick flaring on them, Rick flaring, sun up, baby.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the SWAC, pull up where you at, no cap. If the Brody is speaking the soft facts, my advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeants are with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered the least. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walking cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Scotty back with another one, man. Listen, we got a full-fledged show for you today. I got all the heavy hitters in the building. All right, make sure before you do anything, you like, subscribe, and like. You already know the deal. Come on, man. Come on, man. Stop playing around. You already know what it is. Man, we are talking transfer portal or high school recruit. How do you build a champion? Listen, first and foremost, you already know who it is. The walking encyclopedia, The boy wonder. Get over my boy Blue.
What's good, my man? It's been a while. It's
been a while, man. The beard been. I wanted to tell you that in the chat when I was watching. I'm like, the beard is bearding. Okay, they just
listen, man. I've been busy, man. My barber is all the way downtown, so I'm just like, listen, man. It's getting cold outside. Let it grow out, and we'll get that handled later.
Yeah. You just look like you just part of the Montana, North Dakota crew. You know,
there you go.
All right in that space. All right. Listen, you already know the next up. Guys, man, you know he knows it all. The historian, the SWAC HBCU historian. There's not a game he probably hasn't seen through his own 2 eyes. Give him my boy, Zoe Phillips.
No Shave November. I'm coming for you, Blue. I'm coming. I just started No Shave November. I'm coming.
And listen, last but definitely not least, your favorite uncle, Mr. SWAC Unity. Can we all just get along? Has more jobs than the Jamaica. Give it a moment, Mr. Campbell.
Hey man, listen, I'm just here to make sure we all just get along.
Yeah,
that's it. Can we all just get along? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We got mothers engaged at the D breakdown, you know what I'm saying? Calling my boy Mike Squidward, you know what I'm saying?
That was funny.
Damn.
Hey, listen, mama, the equipment is top notch here. I just want to let you know we don't need no Goodwill equipment. So we doing a top notch show. So, you know, shout out to Mama Lockhart. But no, man, you know, I'm here, like I said, with my nephews, man, and you know, my son Scotty. We're gonna do a little something different. You know what I mean, Scotty? We're gonna talk about some things because you know, got so many people that talk about what they think they know. But guess what? You're gonna find out what really is how you're gonna create an FCS championship type team. And I'm excited to put this show together because it really stemmed from something and I'm gonna talk from an alumni standpoint. And again, I got, like I said, the encyclopedia, got Scotty, and it got Zoe that's gonna talk about a team breakdown. But one of the biggest things as an alum, we old school. We like to see guys grow up in the program, as we like to say. Facts. We like to see them start off as freshmen, and that's how we support kids. But the portal era has totally changed. And Scotty, you know, we have questions for our coaches. And again, you know, you're going to show a video that from shout out to the 220 Club and shout out to Coach Cozer being honest with his answer. But we're going to talk about that. And we got another coach that goes a different way. We got some examples, but we're going to find out the real way to how to build a real championship team.
I love it. I love it. And listen, I couldn't do it no better than the guys right here, the pundits. You know what I'm saying? I just love to be the melting pot of all this great information and to hear from these illustrious pundits as they are. Listen, it's the battle. All right. It's the battle. Signing day versus the transfer portal. Before we jump into it, I want to get you guys' opinions individually on if you were a college head coach, what would your philosophy be? I want to start with you first, Blue.
Yeah, I think for me, so if I'm coming into a program that's losing, right, I'm going to go heavy transfer portal year one.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to flip that roster, and then eventually we're going to shift to where our core and nucleus, the foundation of this house, is going to be built through high school. And then all the cracks and things we got to fix on the exterior of the house, the foundation's got to be leveled. We're going to fix all that with the transfer portal. So the high school still has to be the core of my program, but transfer portal fills in all the holes each year because there might be one year, Scotty, where, listen, we might lose one too many offensive linemen to the portal that I'm comfortable then. Guess what? We're going to go hit the portal and fill that need this year so I can bring in a freshman and get him ready to play behind him. So I would do heavy transfer portal early, build the core from the high school ranks, and then teeter off the transfer portal as we go along and just fill in the important positions where we need them.
I like it. So coming to you next, if you were a head coach, you've seen it from both sides. You've seen the Dion way, you've seen the TC Taylor way, you've seen the Comedy way, you've seen it all in different eras. But if it was your team, how would you build it?
It's easy answer for me. Well, first, before I give my answer, do want to make note that today, starting today, you have 2 weeks for the dead period. From today, 2 weeks start the dead period.
Wow.
But to answer your question, Scotty, I'm old school, and what's old school is still tried and true. Newsflash, everybody, we didn't just start having transfers. They've been going on for forever today. Newsflash, people. The only difference is you can transfer every year. It's the only difference. It's the only difference. So just bear that in mind. And every program, I don't care, FBS, FCS, Power 4, whatever it is, every program has to be a developmental program. The only difference is if the FBS have more money to entice a high-profile guy that I can plug and play to get them in to really change the tide of my team. Think Deion Sanders with the Cowboys, from the 49ers going to the Cowboys, right? If I got a great team, I can get this great prayer from you that's an outlier on my team to take me over the hump. That's the thing that the big boys can do. But on the FCS level, same thing still apply. Developmental program. I'm rolling strictly with high school talent. The mind shift that I have is different. Blue made a point, but what I would say is how I saw my program, Scotty, the main answer is it depends on the state of my program as I get it.
Yeah.
Right? That's the main thing. But I was still knowing that I'm going heavy high school, even in my first year, because what if I'm going to a program that's never had a winning pedigree? To that, I'm going to go probably heavy transfer portal because I'm trying to quickly I'm gonna do some quick cement on my foundation. If I got somebody that has some type of tradition or something, Scotty, then I'm gonna get some regular concrete.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
still laying a foundation, but it's just different because again, it also comes down to what is my expectation and what am I trying to do for my career? Am I trying to be at this place for 4 to 5 years, win, and then leave? That tells you a lot about what you want to do as well. See, it's a lot of other moving parts, but I will go the high school route. I will go, look, everybody, no matter what, Scotty and Blue, you're going to go heavy O-lineman every year anyway.
Yeah.
Every year.
Sure.
So the thing is, that doesn't change that. So my thing is, hey, my idea is there is no more 4-year players. I'm thinking everything's year to year, at the most 3 years if I got some loyal guys. So I want 2-year rotation on everything. And if I could get that solely with high school guys, and I may lose some, but that's when you get the porter to come in to fill in those cracks. But the main thing, and I'll pass it back to you, Scotty, is when we hear portal, I think the problem is we automatically think FBS or Power 4 when we think portal, as opposed to, man, I can go right over here to Tennessee Tech, got a damn good cornerback that I was recruiting out of high school. I got a great relationship with him. Didn't play that much, but I know he's going to fit what I'm trying to do.
That's good.
That's how we pretty much want to go with it.
That's good. Mr. Campbell. Oh,
man, listen, I look at it. I want to include both what Zoe said and what Blue said, but one of the things too, I think geography matters. If I'm in a state like Delaware where there are not players and a deep high school roster, I'm always going to portal. But if I'm in the Texas, I'm in the Floridas, I'm in the Mississippis, I'm in the Georgias, I want to build a pipeline because I want to get consistently, because when you're talking about a state like Florida, you're consistently going to have great high school players that come out there. So I want to build pipelines through those high schools. And I'll tell you another position. It's also position specific. I can go get wide receivers and defensive backs. But to me, I want to get that freshman quarterback and start him in my system early. And I want to have that continuity. You know what? To Zoe's point, I've got him in there. And again, goes to old, and people remember the old Florida State model. You sit 2 years, you play your junior and senior year. And you constantly get that continuity. So I got a guy that knows my system, especially at the quarterback position, because what I've seen is, and again, we'll talk about this, you can get guys out the portal, but most time the hardest position to get is a quarterback. I'd rather have that guy as a freshman, sophomore, ready to play and keep bringing them in. So to me, it depends on the state that you're in, that you can build, and also position specific.
I want to ask one more question before we dive deep into the numbers and the data behind what Blue has when it comes to championship programs. With the day and age of quick turnarounds, how are you going to develop that? Like, again, most programs are going to just, they want that. They've seen that year turnaround, right? You come in, your last scene, the Chinnisberry turnaround. Let's just keep it a buck, right? TC Taylor turnaround to a certain extent, right? Like, you come in, I really want to focus on South Carolina. You come in, low expectations. We're here, we're doing this. He comes in and boom, year one. Deshaun Jackson, right? I mean, not using a celebrity, but it's a 1 year turnaround. When you're going through the high school, how do you get that 1 year turnaround without having heavy portal guys? I'm gonna whip it back around. Mr. Campbell, coming to you.
So here's the thing. I think it depends on what kind of coach. Now, see, the coach that you named, you're talking about some of the best coaches. So again, I think, but if you look at South Carolina State, Chinnisberry, guess what he did? He brought his guys in from Benedict. He built it. But now all of a sudden he goes back to the tried and true tradition of South Carolina State. Let's get these high school players and let's start getting players that fit. So if you look at his recruiting class the last year, got a whole bunch of high school guys. You look at Trey Oliver, Trey Oliver caught a lot of hell when he first got there. He'll tell you right now, I want to build guys through high school. So I think the coach matters, because if you look at my friend Tremaine Jackson, and made a lot of sense. Prairie View didn't have that big name. Let's get rid of everybody. Let's bring 70 guys in. But guess what? If you look at his, and he shows on his post, JUCO guys, high school guys, I want to talk to you. I need to know who you are, because I don't believe Tremaine thinks that he can flip that roster and get 50, 60 guys every year to maintain a championship presence. So that's the reason why I think it's a short-term goal, but it's a long-term mission. Short term, yes, let's get the guys that are not working. But for me to sustain, I think you've got to open up those high school avenues, and that's how you build.
Well, going into it, knowing that you want to be a developmental program, some coaches may have the mindset to say, I want to be developmental at certain positions, right? And quarterback could actually be one of those. Newsflash, and just to pull the curtain behind on some of this, not every player is highly recruited. Some guys really don't have that many offers, and there is a thing with players to coaches where there is loyalty, meaning that, hey, I only had really JUCO offers out of college. This team is the only team that really took a chance on me. And guess what? I have a relationship with the QB coach or the OC and the head coach, and they have developed me, and my reward to pay dividends to them is to stay and perform. They're letting me play. They've been forthright and honest with me, and I'm going to pay them the dividends by staying here. I know when I say that, some people will say, oh, well, if he's halfway decent, they're going to throw money at him. That could be true, but not everybody's going to leave just because money's coming at them, because there is enough data out there at this point in time in year 2025 to show that so many guys have left, and what did they benefit from it? You see what I'm saying? There's enough data out there now to show that it's not going to work in their best favor. Just because you move up or go somewhere else doesn't guarantee, you know what I'm saying, success or a pathway to the NFL or things of that nature. Because again, like all things in life, people want guarantees, and in sports, there are no guarantees. In life, there are no guarantees. But we have seen it. You can took Eric Phoenix is a great example. Hey, I was with Chinnisberry at Benedict. I left and went somewhere else. Guess what? It didn't work. But guess where I ended up going back to? The person who really showed faith in me, that really believed in me, gave me a fair shot. I gave it a try over here. It didn't work. Let me go back to where, you know what I'm saying, show my loyalty. And guess what? It benefited both parties, right? You can see a lot of that on the FCS level. So to that answer, Scotty, I would say still high school guys in development. Again, I'm in the minority. There are tons of quarterbacks out there. There really are. It's not as scarce as people make it out to be. The thing is going to be coaching, where the players can take the coaching, and then the opportunity to produce on the field. Because I can point out plenty of quarterbacks all over through the FCS ranks, Division II ranks, and on the FBS levels. A lot of times you have bad performance by bad fit at certain places, and they just need to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I think the question you're asking, Scotty, kind of goes back to talent evaluation more so than the approach too, because you look at a lot of these first year successes. What's the hit rate for Deshaun Jackson on the guys he brought in from high school and the portal? What's the hit rate for Tremaine Jackson right now compared to and I'm not taking a shot at him. Listen, I know it's Valley, but like compared to what Valley's had to do year one, I bet you the hit rate for Delaware State PV is way higher right now than at Valley. And I bet you the hit rate's a lot higher at PV than it is Tennessee State with what Barlow had to bring in.
Yeah.
So it's and then also too, it depends on the program you're coming into. Like it's kind of funny, right? Because covering the whole FCS, the SWAC is a pressure cooker, man, for head coaches. Like there's only a select few programs in the FCS, Scotty, that I can name where if you come in year one, they really expect you to win. I mean, in the SWAC, you could be a mid-tier SWAC school, and that fan base is going to be like, man, if we don't win the SWAC next year, we really don't want you here. Facts. It's just a different level, and I think part of it's the fan bases are bigger, more passionate, and also too, you're in the best recruiting ground in the country, man. It stretches from Texas all the way to Florida.
Yeah.
Man, if you can't build a championship team with the states in between Texas and Florida, man, I really question your ability to recruit talent. And like Mr. Campbell and me have talked about, how many kids from Florida out of Tallahassee and FAMU's backyard, Scotty, have we seen become FCS All-Americans elsewhere?
That's the toughest thing about it. Like when you're seeing kids that have come out of your, and you're like, how did you miss him? Like, how did you not see him? How did you not get this kid? Like, how did you not even offer this kid? Like,
start there. Wait. Let's roll that back for the people. Say that one more time, Scotty. What you just said.
How you don't even offer this kid for him to tell you no? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing that kind of makes me mad. Because then I'll see a kid, and this is how it usually goes. I'm minding my business. I'm on Twitter. I see a kid. He at some FCS program. You know, the first person I'm gonna hit up is Blue. I'm like, Blue, like, who is this kid? And then Blue, oh, you talking about the kid from da-da-da-da-da? Oh, da-da-da-da-da? I'm like, yeah, where he from? Oh, he from Tallahassee. Like high school? Yeah. Fam, you didn't even offer him. I'm like, come on, man. I'd be like, what are we doing?
Got it. It's down to FBS level 2. Look at Lamar Hardy. He didn't get an offer from any school in Mississippi. With the Lawrence County High School, he's the leading rusher at Missouri. Jack State played for ULM last year.
Yeah,
he's from Omaha, Mississippi.
Yeah,
he didn't get an offer from Mississippi State or Ole Miss or Jackson State.
None.
True story. And he was and look, I believe he was a 2-star recruit.
Yeah,
swear to God, leading the SEC in rushing.
That's crazy.
Like Christian Watson is the best example, right? Like, listen, do I get North Dakota State's a powerhouse? Christian Watson had no business going to play at North Dakota State, coming out of where did he come out of? Tampa?
Yeah.
Tampa, Florida. And he's an All-American second-round NFL draft pick going to North Dakota State. What are we doing? How did that kid not have to go to FAMU?
And Blue, I'm not, because let me say this. And he had several FAMU adjacent people, either indirectly coaching or people that knew him from a little kid. I know that for a fact.
And it's the same thing with the Teron Dickens
kid.
Yeah,
Teron Dickens out of Miami Northwestern goes to Western Carolina.
Like a powerhouse. Like, those are the kids you expect to get offers. Even if I miss on you, it's like, hey, you're coming out of one of the toughest brackets in Florida. You're at a powerhouse program that plays a national schedule. You know, like, I think I can live with that. You know what I'm saying? But it just, you got to tell me no. Tell me no before I just say, nah, I can't get them. I just can't get them. But I want to touch base. Let's go back to where this all started, where Mr. Campbell got the idea of, hey, listen, I'm not liking what I'm hearing. Right now, Mr. Campbell, let me know if I'm too far ahead or too far back.
Question: recruiting. At what point will we focus on high school kids, or if we go into the portal, get a kid that has more than 1 year of eligibility?
Well, I mean, right now, I'll just say, we will sign about probably 7 or 8 high school kids right now, because the landscape of recruiting has changed, right? You have high school guys right now that are trying to get to universities in January. So we'll sign about 6, 7 high school kids just to come in January. Then you're probably looking at another 8 to 10 JUCO kids, because again, you want them to be early. And then the portal opens up January 2nd for, the NCAA guys. So, it can run your, we'll get probably anyway for 20 to 25 total guys to be here in January. It could be a mix of high school, junior college, and then portal. So, because we're losing 30. So, because of the roster limits and what you're able to have, when I can't lose 20 and then try to bring in 40. We're going to lose 25. So with us losing 25, now you're going to, give or take, you're going to lose a couple guys that you thought may come back. But we graduated 25 seniors, or guys that are going to be playing their last game. So we lose 25. That means we got to bring in 25.
Is that where you want me to stop or keep going?
Go a little bit, go a little bit further, because he's going to say why he doesn't recruit the high school kids. It should be right after.
You only have the kids for 6, 7 months. Would it be better
to go out and recruit the high school kid and keep them for 4 years. That way you will know what you got. Kids coming in that portal, it takes away your coaching ability because that kid is only here for 6 or 7 months and they come in with the expectation of playing. But if you bring a kid from a freshman through to a senior, you would know that kid.
If they stay. How long do you want this answer to be?
Well, I want you to look at, does it take away the coach's ability to coach?
Well, I'll say this. How about I give you this scenario? That's a great question. Okay, so these are 2 guys that are from the portal right now. I notice how many years have you been here with us? This is his second year, right? Okay, Bobby, this is his first year here with us. Okay, so let me ask you this. All right, in our conference, right? I base our conference. A lot of the best players that are in our conference, you think those are high school guys, or do you think those are portal guys?
I mean, we can stop it right. We can literally stop it right there, like just to talk about that point.
I was going to tell you, stop it right there. Yep.
Now, if we want to dive into this, right? If you want to be honest, Quincy Ivory was a high school kid out of the SWAC.
I can go further.
JUCO, Kelby Givens is a high school dude.
Yeah, Kelby's high school.
Kelby's high school. Ahmad.
Sundiata was high school.
Sundiata high school. Ahmad is high school. The leading rusher in the SWAC of the high school. The returning leading receiver for Chilean before he got hurt, high school guy.
Jeremiah Williams, high school guy.
High school guy.
I mean, where are we going? Alabama. Half of Alabama States is high school.
Colton Adams. Was it
Body?
Burgess?
Body.
Yeah.
I mean, where you want to go with this? So, I don't. I mean, Xavier Smith, high school, walk on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we can go back. Abdul Ibrahim and during the A&M days, high school.
Walk on.
Akil Glass was the transfer.
The only thing I would change is the statement that the gentleman presented in the question. The only thing that he was wrong is the time frame. The 1%ers, we talked about this at some point last year. The new 1%ers now are the high school guys coming to be there for 4 years. Those are the 1%ers. Because even if you get a high school guy, which they're probably going to stay longer, but you have to figure at the most, the longest I'll get them is for 3 years. And that's including a redshirt year. I redshirt them. They play 2 years, redshirt sophomore. If they are balling like crazy, right, they're going to get crazy off, and it's on me to see if I can retain them and possibly get them for a 3rd year, right? Mm-hmm. But you figure if I get a high school kid, 3 years tops on any player that you have. The only difference is with grad transfer, you know it's going to be a 1 year, or if a transfer, you figure 2 years at the most.
Yeah,
1 year, a lot of 1 year, but those are few far in between because you're purposely getting them to plug and play at certain positions. You're not, and you should not be trying to do depth with a bunch of grad transfers and guys they got 1 year.
Yeah.
And Scott, I want to make one quick point because you know how people clip this. This is not a criticism of what Coach Cozy said. This is how he answered it. And people as alums, like the alumni asked, see, the one thing about it, I want to be clear on this, the coaches ask the alums for money, right? Help us to recruit players, help us with NIL. And you guys know this, a lot of alums are lukewarm other than the Jackson State alums because their return on investment. I'm saying, why am I going to give a guy money that's only going to be here for 6-7 months?
Yeah.
And we don't know how it's going to work out.
Yeah.
I'd rather invest in a freshman that we can see build and grow. And then when he's a sophomore, if you say he's about to leave, well, don't worry, we got money for him, so he won't leave. So I want to be clear on that. This is not a criticism. He answered the question the way he wants to answer it, but I want to set that table up because, to your point, now we're getting receptive to see what the data really says about that.
Yeah, I mean, and we could just name kids after kid. I'm talking about the D lineman that Valley used to have that was All-American.
God, the short kid,
Gardner, and the other one,
Ronnie
Thomas, Gardner. They were both high school guys. Jalen Jones, the wide receiver at Alabama State's a high school guy. Malik Huggins, a high school guy. I mean, I don't.
The running back, Krosky Merritt, high school guy.
Look, I'm gonna say it, man. Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter. I mean, I know it's prime, but still, I know, but they're still high school guys.
But again, it's when you start diving into this, you know what I'm saying? When you start getting deep into it, it's like, no, like if you take Quincy Ivory out, you know,
Body's not a transfer. Body's a freshman. He's a transfer to Alabama State, but he was a freshman.
That's why in the data I labeled FCS transfer versus FBS transfer, because FCS transfers and FBS are different. And then even with the all SWAC All-Americans, you can point out a majority of the FCS transfers that were all SWAC were in SWAC transfers.
Yep.
Yeah. So I just wanted to be clear, like that.
And I want to make a point about that too. Is about, again, when you hear an alumni, because see, this is where the trap happens. If you're going to go that route, guess what the alumni want? They want Delaware State. They want Prairie View. See, that's the danger part of it, because what you're saying is, I'm going to get these guys to turn, like he's saying, if we didn't go further, but he said, you guys won't even give me 4 months. Well, if you're going to go to that point, then no, we're only going to give you 4 months because they're going to be here for 6 or 7 months.
Yeah.
So it kind of shortens anyway.
Yeah. Mark Evans from UAPB, out of high school, All-American left tackle.
So, I mean,
Carson Vincent, out of high school, just got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you go on and on, but we'll continue. Let's see how far this goes.
No. They're portal kids. So now, if you're gonna give me a contract and give me 4 years and let me build all this team of high school teams, I can do that. But you gonna give me 4 years to build off a high school? Hell, y'all didn't give me 4 months.
Okay, I wanna.
That's crazy.
I'm not trying to do a FAMU bashing. Because
no, I get it.
Right,
yeah.
right. And I want to be clear. This is not, because we're going to talk about other coaches. Yeah, let's be clear.
Yeah. I want to be very clear. The reason that statement is a bad statement, because he was left a very good team. I just want to let's just start there, because remember, Zach, Mr. Cameron, you all said, I asked you if you was a coach, how would you start? And every one of you said, depends on what I'm walking into. It depends on what I'm walking into. He was hand-given. Let's say Willie had it as a Porsche. It got downgraded to a Mercedes. It got downgraded to a low level, A class, a C class Mercedes. Okay, fine. You want to say that? Okay, cool. But that's a damn good car for a first-year head coach.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of things you didn't have to add to the car that most teams do when they come into
I got to use a different analogy. It's a damn good car still, but it's at a damn great dealership, meaning that it's in Florida. So, So the thing is, too, you know, I think he's dropping the ball in some instances. I think you can't. I have a problem with the statement. You know, are you going to give, you guys barely give me 4 months? You can't worry about that, because guess what? If they're giving you 4 months and you do what you need to do, the 4 months won't matter, because again, if you win, that 4 months will turn to 4 years.
Yeah.
But it's on you to do the things day in and day out, from getting the Jimmys and Joes to extend that time. And let's just call it what it is, man. He's missed out on evaluating on some guys and then getting those guys. That's just point blank. That's just all there is to it. It's going to be two things, man. Recruiting is, you know, go out here, you know, casting your net and getting the guys. But believe it or not, man, more so than casting your net is identifying the parts you want for this damn Mercedes. And the problem is, you can't get that Benz, bruh, and go into a shade tree mechanic and then go and get some damn Napa parts. That's the problem. You got to be able to identify, and you got to hit. Meaning that if I see that this guy's going to fit and work for my team, first thing is that I got to identify what I want, get it, and then I got to be a mold of clay.
Yeah.
That's like we always say, you want to be able to get We want to get 5 stars, but guess what? Even on the Power 5 level, if I got a 4-star, I got to turn him to a 5-star. If I got a 2-star, I got to develop him and make him a 4-star. And right now, that's not what's happening. And guess what? Forget the results. Forget just the wins and losses. You see it by what you're seeing on the field. We talk about what? The quarterback play. It's been the same, you know what I'm saying, for the year. We've seen different things. So it kind of goes back to that. That's going to be the thing, bro. And in Florida, you can't, man, look, we can go to any high school in Florida. Every high school in Florida got speed at the skill position. Every last one of them, even the sorry ones. We all know this to be true. I'm serious. And Florida has almost 28 million people in it, bro. It's the most dense state outside of Texas in the South. So there's no excuse, bro, at all to not get talent. And FAMU has the name and pedigree. Why is it that FAMU has less skill guys than Bethune right now? I'm just saying. And FAMU is the bigger name. Yeah. So again, you got to target the guys. You got to get them.
Mr. Campbell.
Yeah, I think one of the things too, which again, it comes down to where you say, what do you do? And you know, shout out to Wild Wayne. There's a difference between, he said, goals and expectations. FAMU is an expectation program. The expectation is always going to be there. So when you sit back and you're going to be judged, and you got to understand something, those people that sit there, you got some people sitting in there that play for Jake Gaither. They know football. Yeah. Do not get it twisted. So when they sit back and they're evaluating the play on the field, because in the end, the play on the field determines if you did right or wrong. And if you're looking at guys that you recruited on the defensive line that can't stop people, or linebackers that don't fill the hole, but the guy that really plays well was actually your high school recruit, Nayron Jenkins. And you say, well, why don't we get more Nayron Jenkins? So that's the question. So those are things that were people that I think that Coach Coles has ran into, where he feels the pressure, because again, it's about evaluation. You look at Deshaun Jackson, got a lot of guys in the portal evaluating. Now he hasn't got, Gillis came back. Gillis was on that team. So you still have guys. High school. There you go. That was a trick. There you go. Exactly.
And that's why I've been reiterating over and over again about Travis Clark. That's where Travis Clark comes in for Delaware State. When you have a guy who's tied into development of players and identifying great talent, you know what I'm saying, from that, you know, from the Moore League and different things of that nature, and you're bringing that talent over here to, you know, all the way across the country. Again, that's identify what we want to look like, what kind of players we want to have, and getting them here. And that's how you can transition from being 2 wins or 1 win in 1 year to winning 8 games the next year. It's not by happenstance. It's a intentional thing by targeting what we want and what we want it to look like and what it needs to feel like. That's how you end up going 8-3 from winning 1 game the previous year.
I got a text from and Blue, I'm gonna let you go next, but I got a text from somebody who plays at McNeese, and he said at McNeese they replaced their graduating senior class with high school and replace what they lose to the portal by recruiting in the portal. That is their philosophy at McNeese and how they do their thing. What you got?
1,000%. And again, like we're going to break down all these numbers here in a second, but at the end of the day, is if you're a bad talent evaluator, you ain't gonna none of this matters. It doesn't matter. None of this matters because I just want to offer, because listen, we're getting ready. We're putting together right now. We had our first meeting today, putting together freshman All-American. When we drop that, I just want people to click on some names and go look at what they did this year, the FCS. The fact that Mercer has a kid right out of North Carolina that has thrown for almost 4,000 yards, almost 40 touchdowns, and only 5 picks as a true freshman, and he wasn't supposed to play this year. Just got thrown into action, and now he's going to win the Jerry Rice Award. He's going to be a Walter Payton finalist as a true freshman. How did that kid wind up in Mercer out of the state of North Carolina? You want to know who their starter was? A kid's out of Jones Community College in Mississippi. How did that kid wind up in Mercer? I want that kid at Alcorn.
I can tell you one reason. I don't even know the measures, but I just want to ask you one question, Blue. What's the measurables on that quarterback at Mercer?
Which one?
That's blowing it out the water.
Atkinson. Let me pull him up real quick. He's 6'1", 215.
There go part of your answer. Because a lot of coaches in the SWAC, I'm gonna go and just tell you, I'm gonna use Dion for example. If you know we had players or parents for reaching out players. If Nick Saban ain't gonna recruit him, why should I recruit him? And a lot of SWAC coaches are like that as well. If he don't have the measurables, if he can't go here, then I don't want him. Remember how you said, Scotty, if you got a dynamic quarterback that's 5'10" and he could ball out, then you take him.
Yeah.
Look at what Blue just said. Quarterback 6'1". And that's kind of more normal now because of Bryce Young and Russell Wilson still in the NFL. But by and large, you don't see a lot of those. A lot of coaches still want to swing by what? Measurables.
6'3", 6'2",
I want prototypical stuff over productivity. But it's kind of like how Trey Alva. It's like how Trey Alva has that coach over scheme, that whole coach over scheme. You go with productivity over measurables. Go with what is going to work in your program. But that goes to what? Having an eye for talent.
But so I want to tie into something historically. And we can go all the way back. In the SWAC, we didn't have a bunch of 6'4" quarterbacks. Most of those guys, look, you want to highlight a name, Bruce Eugene. Was Bruce Eugene 6'3"? You know what I'm saying? The quarterbacks that you're going to get at this level, you have to be able to develop them. So while they might not have the product 6'2.5", 6'3", but you got guys that in the SWAC. Again, we can start, and we're not going to bog this down, but I guarantee you, I can roll out a SWAC All-Star and a MEAC All-Star team from guys that were 5'11" to 6'2". I guarantee you that were conference player of the year at that level. So that's the kind of thing. So when I hear a guy say, because what is Lockhart? 6'3" and some change? Almost 6'4".
Yeah, 6'4".
It's not too many Lockharts that you're going to get. That just doesn't happen at this level. So again, if I know that, give me a guy that I can show that can toss the ball around, that's been productive in high school, that again, I can bring him into my system. So go ahead, Scott. I didn't want to bog that down.
Well, before you go, Scott, I was going to say this real quick. In the SWAC, a typical player in the SWAC that just ball out, I always use this example in every example. Rohan Marley. I don't know if you guys remember Rohan Marley played for the Miami Hurricanes. It's Bob Marley's son. Go watch his film. Rohan Marley was a dog. Played with Ray Lewis, was the leading tackler on the team, not Ray Lewis. Rohan Marley, bro, was 5'10", like 195 pounds, and played middle linebacker and sometimes outside linebacker. He would have been a prototypical SWAC player, but they wouldn't recruit him. You know why? Because he's 5'10". But again, you go by the productivity. Look what he did with Miami. So that's the problem. We got to get out of good. I'm not saying don't get measurables if you could get them. You got to be able to identify the talent. But like, man, when you got a quarterback, like nobody in the SWAC would have recruited. What's my boy that went to Arizona Cardinal? Kyler Murray. Granted, he was highly recruited by everybody. But guess what? If he was just putting up 2,000 yards a season and they were winning, he wouldn't have been highly recruited, and nobody in the SWAC would have got at him. And Kyler Murray was 5'10". Man, go with what works. Identify the talent and go get it. Fuck them damn heights. Because guess what? Your job is not to get players to the NFL. Your job is to win and produce graduates and help these guys matriculate in life, get their degrees, and become productive citizens.
Lindsey Scott. That's the name that sticks out to me. And then also, too, you guys know how Morgan hasn't found a quarterback in about 10 years.
Yeah.
Townsend had 3 guys coming back this year that had starting experience at Townsend because of injuries and stuff like that. They were the first 3 quarterbacks on the depth chart. They started Andrew Eendorf, a true freshman out of Miami, Florida, St. Thomas Aquinas.
Wow. They got somebody out the powerhouse. That's crazy.
How does Townsend land the starting quarterback from St. Thomas Aquinas out of Florida?
Man, watch this. How many HBCUs? That's what's going to mess you up. How many HBCUs truly play freshman quarterbacks?
Not many.
Not many.
I want you to think about this. Tony Hughes, the head coach of Jack State, had a high-ranking 3-star recruit at quarterback. Getting his very first game against Grambling, first pass, a touchdown. He ended up pulling them at the end of the quarter. Doesn't play anymore. That coach ended up getting fired at the end of the season. Another thing there. But again, a lot of coaches in the SWAC, they will not play true freshmen. That's why Steve McNair was an outlier. Steve McNair was not the starter when he came in as a true freshman. He came in like the 2nd or 3rd game of his freshman season and didn't look back and could have won. Wait, I think he did win SWAC Player of the Year freshman year. Ended up throwing just under 3,000 yards, balled out, and the rest is history. You look at T.C. Taylor was a starting quarterback, gets benched for Robert Kent, end up throwing for 11,000 yards in his career. Shadur Sanders, that's a whole different thing. But not many HBCU programs will sit there and have a great player, don't want to start them. We don't utilize the talent. I'm gonna say this and I'll be quiet. This is why I always say on certain recruiting things, I'm a recruiting guy. We'll say, oh, we got so and so, we got this guy, but they don't utilize them. So that's the problem. Get the talent, develop it, utilize it.
I heard Teddy Keaton. I talked to Teddy Keaton about David Wright, the quarterback that beat Bethune that 1 year, and I said, why wasn't this kid recruited? He said, because they said he was too small. 5'10", 5'11" kid that can spin it. Like, and it goes back. It goes back for me to like when I used to play basketball with like guys who were shorter, they just had a way to do stuff, right? Like, because they knew I can't go up and just dunk on you, so I gotta float. When you're your height, you learn how to do things in your way to make it effective. So again,
some will dunk on you, Scotty. I'm saying some will. Some 5'10" guys can. They will. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, in the quarterback world or the running back world or the DB, like, when did DBs have to be 6'2"? Like, growing up, all I saw was 5'10", 5'11". Maybe a 6-foot corner growing up was big. And it's like, I'm a poo-poo on a 5'11" corner who has ball skills, who can see it. Oh, I just give me that 6'2", 6'3" guy with no hips. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me sometimes, right? I can mold him instead of getting something that's already ready made. And I think, like Zoe said, talent, productivity has to overshadow measurables. It just does, because it's like, hey, yeah, you can't do this, but man, what you can do, I can use that. All right, last points, and then we'll go into the data.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
All right. Blue, I want you to, before we go there, I want to do another clip real quick of Trey Oliver talking about how he does it and how he feels.
On that, coach, because I think that's so important. You got 8 guys on the first team, all MEAC, 11 total on both teams. And coach, like what you said, so talk about your guys, your first team, all MEAC guy, and talk about, coach, all those guys came in from freshmen moving all the way through. Am I correct when I did my research?
Yeah, we develop guys. That's what it's about. We recruit and we develop.
So, coach, talk about, you got 3 guys, all MEAC on your offensive line. Look, we know about Walker Harris. We don't want to talk about them. He's all MEAC. But I want to talk about those offensive. Tell me why those guys are special, why they're all MEAC, those 3 guys you got.
Well, obviously, they're good football players, but they're good people, and that unit is very tight. Our O-line is a very tight, cohesive unit. They don't fit. They're not like a lot of bigs where they feel sorry and don't want to work. They grind and they work. When it's time to run after practice and run gases, the big boys ain't just dragging in the back. They push each other and push themselves. And we got great leadership there. My 2 tackles are very good. And it's gonna be a great. Y'all gonna be in for a treat Saturday night watching the matchups, because that defensive end they got, he is an animal. Givens is an animal, but I love my tackles, and it's gonna be a great guys battle. And he gonna make his plays. He definitely gonna make his plays. But my guys got to bow their neck, and we gotta block them.
Now, coach, what about your guys on the defense? You got Max, you got Malcolm, you got Jelani. What about those guys, and what do they bring to the table? Once again, they've been around. They know the system. What are you looking to see for those guys this year?
They're seasoned vets. I need leadership. I need great leadership out of them, because we do have some young guys in the back end, but I need great leadership out of them. And it starts up front again, though. My D-line, they don't get enough credit. I lost like 2 really good interior guys last year. Man.
I think the premise, and what I've always loved about Trey Oliver, he's not shy about telling you, we are going to go to high school. We're going to build it in the high school. We're going to get these guys. We're going to develop these guys, and we're going to build them to what we need for them to be in the system. Blue, seemed like you had something to say.
Oh, no, I was rubbing my nose. We're good.
and I love it. And he even goes in this episode, and shout out to Mr. Campbell and Coach Corner. I love how he talks about they're not paying the freshmen. We're not paying freshmen. Like, we just not, because again, he's not playing a portal guy who ain't got no stats, and he's not paying a freshman. right? Because again, how does that incentivize guys who have put the blood, sweat, and tears into your program and they're not getting any money, or they're trying to earn their money, and then you're bringing in kids who haven't done anything for your program and you're willing to pay them? I absolutely love that about Trey Oliver. He stands on that and he means that. And again, and I agree with Blue, and he said it on HBCU Nightly. It's a disappointing season. It is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But the fact that they're always in the contention, that has to mean something. Anybody got points?
Well, I want to make the point, and remember, this is not a blue blood program. This is North Carolina Central. They are in the mix because of Trey Oliver.
Yep.
It's not the name of let's go to Central. Let's go compared to a FAMU, a Jack State, Southern Grambling that can easily flip. You get the right guy in there, and Zoe said, the right person to drive that car. It flips really quick. South Carolina State, as you can see, that tradition means something. So once again, when you have a guy like Trey Oliver who has put in the system, because also he knows he's got to recruit those guys because he is the little brother in that state, in the HBCU space, right? A&T is the big brother. So he's got to get guys that maybe won't go to A&T, but will come to him because they might be the second choice. A&T, we don't want him. They're not big enough. They're not fast enough. You come here. I'll train you up. I'll make you bigger. So that's the thing about it. And I want to say something too. Another coach has the same philosophy. Again, you've seen it in the videos. Tremaine Jackson. You talking about NIL, man. Don't come over here because we ain't got it. We ain't doing that. You send me your tape. If you're in a JUCO or you're a freshman, let us know. Yes, sir. And then we will check you out. But they're not playing that game because they know it. Like he said, we're Prairie View. We can't play that game. We don't have the gravitas to sit back there and go competing against people with money.
I love it. Nah, and a great point as well with listen, E-Rob, they
low key.
Dog. He be developing. Low.
I sent you a clip, and I sent you a clip with him too. Again, talking about that.
And I'll bring that up, but I want to dive deep into this data, Blue. We're gonna bring this chart up, break this down for the people in the space of what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, so I wanted to just offer this quickly before we get into individual teams, because people are going to be like, okay, yeah, I see the numbers of the breakdown of high school transfers, JUCO, but how many of those players were good, right? Like, who were the impact players? And you see here, there's actually kind of been a shift in the SWAC, man. In 2023, 59% of the all SWAC team was from high school. Last year, only 31.8. You saw actually a big increase in FBS transfers this past year, but an even bigger increase in FCS transfers. But like 4 of those guys, Scotty, were in SWAC transfers. So it's still SWAC high school, SWAC developed talent that's getting it. But you see, I mean, and I just want to say this, you're going to see a big skew on JUCO numbers, and it's because where HBCUs are, there's a ton of JUCO talent available to them. So when you compare it to some of these other FCS schools, they're not in states with the rich JUCO talent areas. So that number is always going to be a little skew, right? Like, why would North Dakota State ever go get a JUCO kid? There's just none really around them, right? Gotcha. So unless you're in Kansas, unless you're in Mississippi, Texas, like JUCO is really not a huge thing. But I wanted to compare it because I took the entire FCS All-American team for those same 2 years. I just want to point at the difference of high school, man. Look at it's 59 to 81 and then 31 to 77. Ooh. And if you add them, look at the numbers with the FCS transfer guys. So if you add it together, that's 28 of the 32 and 31 All-Americans each year were from the FCS level originally.
Okay, hold on. So you're telling me that in the FCS space of all the schools, like All-American, 77% of them were high school guys that they just matriculated.
Yes. And it technically is 28 because these 4 FCS transfers were FCS to FCS, and they started at from high school at the FCS level. They just transferred FCS schools.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
We're top players.
We're talking about the North Dakotas, the South Dakotas, the Montanas,
everybody's eligible.
Wow.
So these All-American teams have from Ivy Leagues to Missouri Valley to Big Sky to SWAC. Like, these All-American teams, I want to say, include every single conference is eligible for them, and I want to say every single conference had at least one player that was selected.
Mm.
And obviously, like, listen, the JUCO numbers just aren't there, man. Only one JUCO player the last 2 years that was selected. And you're looking at this D2 number. It went down last year, but you'll see in the team breakdown. But look, only 2 out of what is that 63 FCS All-Americans the past 2 years, only 2 have been FBS transfers.
That's crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't expect that. I really didn't. Now I would have assumed that FBS high school I thought that was gonna be, A and B. I didn't think it would be in transferring in, like the FCS transfer. And that's crazy. Now that's a crazy stat. So let me ask you this. I'm gonna throw this to Zoe and then the rest of y'all. Is it a mindset that the SWAC individually has as a conference compared to FCS in its broader scope? Because to me, and I'm just gonna keep it a buck. This ain't even about, the playoffs is banned from this point. Lord Voldemort, nobody speaks of the playoffs. We're not talking about no playoffs. We ain't saying that word. What I'm saying is just competing in out of conference games.
Mm-hmm.
Does the SWAC conference need to change its philosophy and how it recruits? Or do coaches feel the pressure and the burden that I got to win now so much that I can't go get high school guys? Zone, coming to you.
I would say, in my own personal opinion, that the SWAC needs to change the way it recruits. That's a byproduct of everything. When you sit there and you have actual data to show you, we talk about, now granted, we know there's a skew when we talk about advantages for resources, but that's a different conversation. But still, even with those resources, they're still taking in the clay of high school talent by far and away. The data that shows you that. And I'm going to just say this. It's rare. Terrence Graves was a different scenario altogether because there's outliers to all of this, right? Take Terrence Graves away. We've had first year coaches by a good number for the previous 2 years in this conference. Okay. How many coaches after 1 year got fired outside of Terrence Graves?
Not many.
None. After 1 year. None. So what I'm saying is you're going to get 3 years unless you're doing something where you just going over. So, but here's the thing. Every fan base knows, because back in the day, Scott, I'm going to go old school. Steve know what I'm talking about. Most of the time, a tried and true playbook will be, I'm going to go extremely young, i.e. kind of similar almost to what Dishman did at Texas Southern. I'm going to go extremely young in year one, so you'll know that we're going to lose. We're building and laying down a foundation. Scotty, you can still do that now. I'm going young to get some experience, get this nucleus together, because every coach, and Blue can testify to this, every coach, whether he's a brand new coach or an experienced coach, the rule of thumb is what? By year 3.
I should be rolling.
Yeah. By year 3.
I should be rolling.
So that goes for any coach. So guess what? Why not go after high school kids, lay a foundation, and guess what? I can plug in with some explosive guy here in the portal, and I can have my team intact. But the thing is, when you sit here and I'm trying to sell this, and I have my own opinion, and I'll pass it back to you. I want to sell this pressure that I got to win today, because if not, I want to get fired. And the SWAC is paying more than everybody else for the head coaches. See what I'm saying? So I can get this money, but I'm going to sell y'all that I got to win right now. So I'm going to go out here and get all this stuff. But guess what? It's more advantageous for me really to get the money if I go young, build this nucleus up, because if I got a damn good check on my first payday, don't y'all think the re-up when it's time for me to renew going to be more?
It's going to be nasty.
All right, then. So that's the thing. To your question, go the SWAC as a whole. I'm going to leave Jack State out of it because we do what we do. But the SWAC, to answer your question, the SWAC as a whole, because Jack State is 1 out of 12, they're going to cut it. or 2 out of 12, because I think Eddie Robb does a damn good thing too. 2 out of 12 still gonna say that the conference as a whole is going portal heavy or NIL heavy, right? Portal heavy. You need to go the high school route. You want to get some JUCO, fine. But hey, if a guy leaves, sign with the Power 4, man, keep that relationship open. If he wants to come back home junior, senior year, and it could work, we could plug and play. Outside that, you got to develop these high school kids.
What you got, Ms. Campbell?
This is what's so interesting about this, and I'm going to try not to be long-winded, but let me tell you the biggest problem. When you see the FBS number, you know the biggest problem in the SWAC is? They think those guys are better because it says FBS. You see FBS, you see Georgia, you see Florida, you see XYZ. I guarantee you, if we took an All-American team of the FCS transfer and the D2, I bet those guys have outperformed even those FBS transfers. And I'll tell you another thing, too. The biggest problem, and Blue's going to understand you, in the SWAC, in HBCUs, we never got, quote unquote, before there was a star system, there was that parade All-American guy. We never got those guys. But guess what we did? Thank you, the blue chippers. But guess what? We got the Jerry Rices. We got the Richard Dents. We got the Walter Paytons. We got the Art Shells. We got all these guys, Aeneas Williams, and all these guys. Because you know what? They had coaches that developed them. They actually took them and developed them. And that is the biggest thing. Blue, I tell you what, when we start looking at this All-American team from the LCS, I guarantee you there's continuity in the coaching staffs and there's coaching development. That's the thing about it. They're taking these guys and making them All-American because they're developing them. We're taking guys that hoping that an FBS guy is going to play at that level, and we're not even developing them. So my thing is, we have shown that we have always taken high school guys, turned them into All-Americans, turned them into All-Pros, turned them into Hall of Fame because the coaching was about development, and that's what we're lacking here.
I'll go tell you, Scotty, try to true. Jackson State was the last FCS program to have 2 first-round draft picks, and both of those players, we didn't even win conference that year. And both of those players with 20, 21, and 23rd in the first round, they were highly recruited guys. Sylvester Morris out of New Orleans and then Rashad Anderson out of Forest. They were good players in high school, but they weren't highly recruited. And we lost to Southern, in the SWAC championship game, and we still had 2 first-round draft picks in 2000.
Well, we got some team data here, so I do want to say this. This is only the data that's publicly available. So some teams list their walk-ons on the website, others don't. So that's why sometimes the roster numbers, like you'll see rosters that are 90, you'll see rosters in the 120 range, the 115 range. So I just want to note that. I didn't have time to remove some of the raw numbers on some of these, but this, let me see. I want y'all to tell me, I'm going to zoom out real quick, and I want y'all to tell me like how hard it is to see.
I can see it. What are we looking at?
Okay, so this first row here,
yeah,
like is just the 4 best HBCU teams over the past few years. You got 2024 Jackson State, 2023 FAMU, 2022 NCCU, and then 2025 Jackson State, who's on track right now to win the SWAC. You got the percentage breakdown of their roster: high school, transfer FBS, transfer FCS, transfer D2, and I just kind of grouped all non-D1 under D2 because there were a few NAIA kids and stuff like that. And then you got JUCO.
So Blue, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. So are you getting ready to explain each column? That's what you're getting ready to do?
Yes.
And then
yes.
come back
and
to
so,
and then you're gonna come back.
Yep. And then come back. And so these 2 columns here are teams that competed, won, or went to the FCS playoffs and competed well. So Mercer 2024 won the SoCon last year, went to the quarterfinals up against North Dakota State. Abilene Christian won the UAC quarterfinal run. 2023 Austin Peay won the UAC. 2023 UT Martin won the Big South OVC. 2022 Sanford won the SoCon that year. That Incarnate Word team was the Lindsey Scott team that made the semifinal run. And then the 2 2025 teams are Tennessee Tech, Stephen F. Austin, 2 of the 9 North Dakota teams that have already clinched their conference this year and are top 15 in the FCS. And I tried to keep the years even. So if you notice, it's 2025 Jackson, 2025 Tennessee Tech versus 2025 Stephen F. Austin. And I wanted to go all the way back to 2022. Gotcha. That way we can get a good look at over the time. Yeah. And then this column over here are 1 team from North Dakota State at the top, the 2024 national title team, the 2023 South Dakota State national title team, and then both Montana schools this year, just to give an extra data point on why those 4 state institutions how they build their rosters differently. And then here at the bottom are the total averages across each of the 4 teams in each column. So you can see here, man, the average of those 4 HBCUs, high schools at 51.6%. The next column is 68% high school. The next one's 59, and the Dakotas and Montanas are 81% high school. I just want to point this out. The 2024 North Dakota State team, they had 102 high schoolers, 8 FBS transfers, 3 FCS, and 1 D2.
Plug and play.
So 90% of their roster was high school on that one. And I just want to point out, like, we can, like, I'll zoom in a bit and we can go by some of these teams like one by one. But the big thing I wanted to show too is the only column that had a higher FBS transfer percentage than the HBCU column is this third one. And it's because it was skewed because of, and Zoe talked about it earlier, and that's why I wanted to point it out. There are 2 states. He said, if you're in Texas, convince your guys to come back. If you look, Sanford's about average, UT Martin's about average, Abilene Christian, 38% FBS transfers. Almost all of those were Texas kids coming back home. Stephen F. Austin had 26 transfer kids from the FBS. Almost all of those were Texas kids that were coming back home. So that's why that number is a bit skewed. But I'll zoom back in here, man. We can kind of break this down. But I do want to point out that there's a common, I guess, misconception that these 2 teams, 2023 FAMU and 2024 Jackson, were heavy transfer. The percentages also kind of lend that they are still a majority high school.
And let me say something, Blue, just to tie in. And on the and Joe might be able to talk to
damn good work, Blue. Damn good work, bro.
I'm like, oh my God.
This is crazy. But Blue, let me tell you, even the inside line with Florida A&M, those FCS transfers were either Tallahassee kids
coming back home,
majority Florida kids. So there was still a relationship with Florida A&M directly for them to come back. So this is what's so interesting. And this is why I try to tell people. So when people try to say, oh, get these guys and things like that, these teams are still built. And when you look, it's nothing wrong with getting transfers. But then I'm going to go to Zoe with the Jackson State hit rate. But then you pick the guys that have productivity out the portal. See, because you already have your baseline of almost half your team that's already your foundation. They know what being a Tiger is. They know what being a Rattler is. They know what being an Eagle is. And I don't care what anybody says. I've been around enough championship programs. When you say that you're a Rattler and people will know it means something. When you say you're a Tiger, you're going over there to that vet. And for the 40,000 people, it means something. If you've been there year 1, year 2, year 3. When you come down to brag and that winning streak was built by these high school guys that started that means something. So when you come back year 1 as a freshman, you win. Year 2, well, hey, man, I'm a senior. We're not about to lose. We've been winning for the last 3 years. So that's what we're talking about, the difference between playing for Florida A&M and being a Rattler. That's the thing that I wanted people to understand. And again, this is what we talk about. If you're going to do the recruiting, then it goes back like you say. Can you bring guys back that are familiar with your program that maybe you tried to recruit, right? But say, hey, you know what? I want to go big time. But you still had your eye on them. You still evaluated them and thought they'd be a good fit. And Willie did a great job of that. Hey, come on, put it on for your city.
Well, I'm going to tell you, like, that's why you don't, around the college landscape, you don't even really hear the term negative recruiting anymore. You really don't. No. Because in this new landscape, you know, if you recruit a kid out of high school, if he goes somewhere else, man, you're seeing coaches congratulating that kid, keeping a good line of communication on, because again, they know from their own programs, look, we're going to evaluate our team. Some guys we're going to put into the portal, you know what I'm saying? And it's just the order of doing business. But we keep an open line of communication, you know what I'm saying? And keep a good rapport, a good relationship, because again, it just may not work out. I can tell you right now, that's how Jacoby ended up coming back to Jackson State. TC recruited him out of high school. Yeah, Jacoby's from Metro Jackson, from Canton. He was, you know, his family's from Jackson State, but that's not the only tie-in. TC recruited him personally. And guess what? You got good rapport. I want to come back home. He still could have went to Mississippi State or Ole Miss or some other choices. But guess what? I got a great rapport with TC Taylor. And guess what? It's a good opportunity for me to come back home. You do that with all the kids. Yeah. All the high school kids that you go after. Because here's the different outlier too, Scotty. I want to say this too, because see, in Mississippi, which is unlike any state in the country, let me tell you, when signing day gets here in February, the majority of every school, every high school in this state, you're going to have the majority, probably around 80% of all the kids are going to sign JUCO.
Wow.
Listen to me. Yes, they're going to sign JUCO. The majority of the kids in Mississippi do not sign Power 5 or FCS. The majority of the kids in Mississippi sign JUCO. It's a fact.
Yeah, I know firsthand multiple coaches on Alcorn, Jackson, and Valley staff who have told me they lose kids to East Mississippi that they want because East Mississippi can say, come here for a year or two and we'll get you to the SEC.
And you don't lose eligibility.
We got stories where we literally had a coach go to a JUCO to take a player back from that JUCO to get him back to Jackson State.
Yikes.
Yeah. It happens
Several
all the time in
times.
Mississippi. The politics on the recruiting trail in Mississippi are not like high schools will purposely not give certain players to Alcorn, Valley, Jackson, so they can give them to the JUCO so they get a kickback when they go FBS.
Yep.
What?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
They'll hide certain players from the FCS schools to give to the JUCOs so they can be a pipeline to the FBS. Because, Scotty, think about it. If you're a high school coach, right? Wouldn't you rather, like, and let's just say you were a high school coach and me and Zoe were playing for you. What would be a better thing for your resume? If me and Zoe went and played for McNeese or Jackson, or if me and Zoe went to East Mississippi for a year, won a JUCO national title, and then we went and played for Alabama.
Wow. Yeah. I can say I coached that kid. Yep.
And let me tell you something, and not to get too deep in the weeds in this, because I got to go old school, because I know this, and Blue, you probably remember this. The University of Alabama literally paid every JUCO in Mississippi, spreading money all over the place.
Florida State at Hines.
To hold guys because they didn't have the grades, and they would pay them. They would literally do quote-unquote camps, things like that, where the coaches could get the under-table money. We're going to come down there and do a camp.
Florida State and Hines.
And pay them. And this was a dirt, and this is again before now NIL. This was a dirty secret in the state of Mississippi. So the Blues point where you had guys, and mind you, this was right in that transition to Zoe's point where kids were going to Jack State, and now all of a sudden Jack State wasn't getting these kids any money. They were like, well, why you ain't going to Jackson? No, I'm going to you going to JUCO.
No. We have guys on our team that would leave because JUCOs are actually recruiting them like at the beginning of the season. They would physically leave campus. We'll have a coach physically leave campus to bring player back to the team. It's happened more than once.
Yeah.
Wow.
And speaking about deals,
30, 40 years.
Auburn had a deal with Mississippi Gulf Coast. Auburn would send players all the time that didn't have the grades, would get into some off-field issues. They send them on Mississippi Gulf Coast for a year or two and then bring them right back to Auburn. They'd sign in the recruiting class, and then you would see them again, Scotty, in the 2 years in the next recruiting class as a JUCO signee.
Wow.
I'm gonna tell you something. Listen, not to bog this down, but I'm gonna tell you, and you guys, the quarterback from University of Miami, Derek Crudup Jr., my little brother. We're gonna do another show because he worked that JUCO pipeline, worked that, and he will tell you the stories from when he left Miami and got into coaching. I'm gonna work on that. That's gonna be another show that we're gonna do to really talk.
I do want to
pull that back.
I do want to say this number, point out this number too that I was looking at. So the high school for Jackson in 2024 was 38%. TC obviously had to rebuild that roster, right? Yeah. His high school percentage on this year's roster went up over 10% from last year, and his FBS transfers went down nearly 10%.
Yep.
That team has flipped almost completely, like almost 70% of the roster is high school or JUCO now.
That's
in
crazy.
1 year.
I didn't know it was that dirty of a game. You're paying JUCOs to keep kids. That's crazy work.
Yeah. Because why would you want to have to re-recruit them? If you already got the commitment and they can't qualify, send them and get your grades up and come back.
That's crazy.
Bro,
I'm really fabulous. Like for real, because I didn't know. Like again, you know the thing about Nick Saban and the Chargers, and you hear about all that stuff, but just that's crazy.
We'll do other shows, Scott. I'm trying to. We're gonna do that. I
could actually pistol it down to you. I can pivot it down to you. So there are certain schools, a bunch of them in the SEC and the ACC, they will actually target a particular school in Mississippi that they have a relationship with, like it's their feeder school. Hines, which is all of Metro Jackson, that was solely for Florida State. TT, I can name a whole bunch of players. TT Top, a bunch of them. Walter Jones, a bunch of them. Go to Hines, then you go to Florida State. So, and a lot of the guys they get, because in JUCOs, they got a rule, you can only sign so many players out of state. And the majority of Hines will only have players from Florida, out of state.
Wow.
It's the same way in Kansas too. Don't let it fool you. They got the same deals with some of them Kansas ones too.
Yeah, I know Coffeyville is a big one down there, and I know I heard about that one. But man, boy, college athletics is a dangerous business.
Oh, and another thing, like, so I'm from Jackson, right? So, like, let's say, for example, if I wanted to go JUCO, even if I wanted to go to JUCO coming out of high school, I couldn't just pick a school to go to and sign to. So, like, for example, if all the JUCOs in Mississippi are recruiting me, and let's say I wanted to go to East, I would have to go to Hines and get a release so I can actually go sign with East Mississippi. Because it's 12 JUCOs in Mississippi, so they're spread out, right? It's divided from north and south. So every few counties, like Hines is Hines, Warren, and I think Utica. Hines, Warren, and another county. If you reside in that county for that particular JUCO, if you want to go somewhere else, you have to go to that JUCO and get a release. All the in-state people, all the state kids.
How do they have rights to you?
Where you live.
Yeah, it's divided up by county, like where you are.
But again, like, that doesn't make any sense. How do they have a right? Okay, so let me ask you this. So that's only if you're going JUCO.
Yes. In Mississippi.
But how do they have rights to you? Like, that's the crazy thing. Like, how do you own me?
Because it's because of where you live.
Well, the bigger, so let me answer that. Let me answer that question. What, to Zoe's point, it's two things. Because also schools will place you because of the connection. So Zoe doesn't have the grades to get into X school. They've got a connection. I'm going to send you to X junior college. What they do is it's a dirty alliance. You don't sign my guy, they won't let him just sign it. They just won't sign him. So he's stuck there. The same thing with SEC used to have an old rule. You couldn't transfer to another SEC school back in the day. So it's kind of almost the same thing like that, Scotty, how they kind of work that.
But yeah, I get the public school aspect of it. I completely get the public school aspect of it. But a college doing that's to me, that's just unheard of.
It's not like that anymore, though. Like they changed it now, but like that's how it used to be.
Oh, I would. But yeah,
I'm about to say, like, because.
But when I was coming out, literally, I would have to go get a release to go play somewhere else.
What if they thought you were too good and they didn't want to play again?
Then, I mean, if you were too good in that district, they was coming to get you. Trust me, they were coming to get you. Trust me, they coming to get you. If you're any good, if you try out and you good, bro, you're not getting out. You're not getting out. There's no way you're gonna be good and you're gonna be in East Mississippi or you're gonna be in Northwest and you good as hell and can play for Hines. They're not gonna even let that happen.
So it's not like that no more, though.
No. It was like 5 something years ago they changed that.
It would make sense, like, because college used to be like that. Like, if the SEC, for you to go in conference, you had to get a release from the coach and all that. So yeah. I get. So if that was still the process of the big boys, I could understand them doing the process of the little schools. But if that's banned at the top level, I'm like, it's no way at community college.
They are still, but Scott, what I'm trying to tell you, they are still, if you are a recruit at a Power 5, they still drive you to their feeder school. Though.
Yeah, I do get that.
Yeah, that will never stop. Because as long as I have it's like if Mr. Campbell was coaching at Hines and me and him were boys, and I got a recruit that can't qualify to come play for me at some P4, man, Mr. Campbell, I got this awesome running back. Why don't you just take him for a year, get his grades up, and I'll get him back here when like after a year.
Does he play or does he just sit and get his grades?
No, he plays. He
plays.
So I'm saying he's gonna play.
Oh no, he's gonna play.
He's gonna play.
Oh, you think I'm just letting him sit here? I'm getting some dubs off this boy. You okay? Y'all, okay. So let me, and I really want to toss this to Blue and Miss Campbell. Y'all can jump in, but Blue, I'm coming to you. and let me bring this back up. I need to go to North Dakota State for me on your chart. 102 kids are coming out of high school. 89% of their roster is high school, and this is the most dominant team. I'm confused. I thought this is a copycat error. Like, I'm like if the best program in the country is having 89% of their kids come from high school, how are we not doing the same?
Do you want to know what's crazy? Like, so if you look at Montana State, they're at 88.6, and then South Dakota State's at 87.9. The only team that has a good split is 2025, this year's Montana team, and that's because they had a huge amount of seniors graduate, and they had a bunch of guys hit the portal, so they had to be aggressive in the portal this year. So this is the outlier. But yeah, so like for the Dakotas and the Montanas, it's like 80 to 90% of your roster's high school kids.
Am I missing something? Zoe, Blue, Mr. K,
let me Blue, correct me if I'm wrong though, but I think this also is when you're the flagship school of the state where kids dream to go play there, right? There's not a lot of competition. They're not sitting in the footprint of the SEC, the Big Ten, the ACC, where
they're not being poached.
Not being poached. So this is where I think the best. This is me. This is what my argument. Why I've always hated, and I'm saying it in a positive way, of the built-in advantage when you are the flagship state school of some of these states, because there's not an Alabama and Auburn and Jackson State and Alabama State, Alabama A&M and Valley and all these schools trying to get one guy. North Dakota State is the school. You grow up wanting to go to this school. So to me, the value proposition for a kid from North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana is a higher value proposition. Stay in your state, put down for your team, compared to a kid. And I'll take Florida and Texas out of it, but let's just go Mississippi, Alabama, right, in that SWAC footprint where you got all these SEC schools all trying to get this one kid.
Well,
they see the SEC schools all day, every day.
I was going to say the other outlier too that I'd be remiss if I didn't mention is you got to look at the percentages of that state as well. Like you look at Mississippi and Alabama just alone, they're almost the same land size. They're pretty much mirror images of each other if you flip them backwards, right? Yeah. When you look at Mississippi doesn't have 3 million people. Alabama has a little bit over 6. You see what I'm saying? Then, like I just told you about Florida, Florida has over 20 million people in it. So those numbers factor into it as well. I think Louisiana has about 6 or 7 million people. So when you look at the number of schools as opposed to the number of people, that gives credence to as well as Montana. I think Montana has about the same number of people as Mississippi, but again, it's one school. So you see what I'm saying? Like that goes into it as well.
Yeah, I think North Dakota, like the state of North Dakota, has like 800,000 people in it.
Yeah,
I think was the state population. So, I mean, like you said, but also too, like I look at North Dakota State's roster right now. I'm just gonna run down. Like I just got to organize by numbers, guys. Like Ruskin, Florida, Frisco, Texas, Tampa, Florida, OVO, Florida, Omaha, Nebraska, which makes sense, Jamestown, New York, Maryland, West Chicago, Lakeland, Florida. Like we're getting like they are recruiting nationally now. El Paso, Texas. I mean, Kansas City, Missouri makes a little bit of sense. Sacramento, California. But I mean, man, the Frisco, Texas, Dallas, Texas, again, Frisco, Texas. I mean, they're getting down into Texas and Florida for a ton of their top players. And I think it speaks to their ability to recruit nationally too.
That and they play in a dome.
Exactly. You know what's funny? North Dakota, I wrote the article yesterday. They flipped a kid. This is North Dakota, not North Dakota State. They flipped a 3-star corner from Northern Illinois yesterday. And do you want to know where he's from? Florida. You want to know what he said? He was playing at he was from Hollywood, Florida, was playing at Chaminade. You know what he said? He said, "Man, I thought the cold would bother me, but he said I got to move away from home someday. Might as well go up there and win."
Wow. And that does make a difference. When you have a winning program,
people want to go.
People want to go. So that when you win 10, 12 championships out of the last 15 years, that allows you that name brand. And again, you go see it with Jackson State. You seen it with Jack State. They're getting guys from Georgia. They're getting guys from Texas. They're getting Lockhart with from North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
That would have never happened 20 years ago. A kid from North Carolina come all the way to Jackson. But that's because of the profile that Jack State has raised to a point where now you're going in all the way to North Carolina. Because again, I'm from Jackson. We did not get guys from North Carolina. You didn't need to do it. And you just, WC Gordon wasn't going to North Carolina to recruit guys. But Jack State's profile has gotten so high where you can say, I can go identify a kid from North Carolina. So this also ties in hand to hand about winning and about expectations versus goals.
And obviously, I want to make this very clear because I already see the comments coming. Rocky, you're crazy. But yes, are they a state program? 1,000%. And so we wanted to add this in because they are a data point that's relevant to the FCS.
Yep.
And I do want to point out, because I hear it all the time, North Dakota State has been begging for like 10 years to please invite us to FBS, and nobody will. So until they get an invite, can we please just stop saying they're hiding from competition? Because again, if they get an invite tonight, Scotty, the bags would be packed, the U-Hauls would be lined up, and they'd be headed where they'll take a MAC invite. You could create another conference and they'll go right now. And so they will go FBS if they get invited. But also, too, Scotty, they have only been Division I since 2004.
That's crazy.
And guess what they were doing at the D2 level? Winning national championships.
Winning national championships.
Like, because I heard someone say, man, North Dakota State's not a blue blood program. They just started winning. Oh, no, they just got here. And then they started winning. And they would have won two. And they would have won 2 national titles if they were eligible for the playoffs 2 years earlier.
And you know who was North Dakota State before North Dakota State? Boise State.
Boise State.
Appalachian State. Youngstown State. I mean, and it keeps going, right? Like, if North Dakota State leaves, y'all know what's going to happen. Someone else is going to take their place, and then y'all are going to be crying that no one can beat this program.
It's always something, right?
Bro, do I get that they have advantages that other FCS programs don't? Yes, but good Lord, man, can we stop complaining and just get better and win some damn football games?
I want to piggyback on something like that because this goes back to the point of our programs, and I'm saying, Scott knows I make this joke. When I see a kid, and you just named it, from Florida going to some directional state, let's take North Dakota State out of it, right?
SEMO. Yes,
SEMO. It's
SEMO.
not even a winning team. And they're out of Florida. And then I go and research and I say, hey, did we even talk to guys? And the kid will tell you, no, they never even recruited me. The kid will tell you, they never even recruited me. So my thing is, I've always said, if a school from out of state is recruiting, fam, you should just offer just for the hell of it. Just for the hell of it. If you post such and such directional status off me, just offer for the hell of it. Because clearly they see something in the kid and you mess around and be all conference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in this incarnate word team in 2022, I mean, all of us remember watching that team with Lindsey Scott and that team making the semifinal run. You know what they called incarnate word? The transfer portal merchants. Look at the roster breakdown. Who was the transfer portal merchant? 79 kids from high school on that team? I mean, come on, man. Only 17 transfers, D1 transfers, and only 1 D2. And you had some JUCO kids because obviously you're in Texas, a small school in San Antonio. Why not? But man, you look at all these teams. Mercer at 70%, Austin P at 70%, Incarnate Word at 70%. Tennessee Tech this year is the outlier here, but it's second year Bobby Water. Man, they're still over 50% high school.
I want to touch on this. I agree with Blue. It helps when the state's main college. Again, listen. It doesn't take away the philosophy of the program. Because again, if Nichols got to deal with the same thing, you know, like Southeast Louisiana got to deal with the same thing. Like all these programs have to do with the same thing. All I'm saying is I'm looking at the best of the best who plays against the best of the best, and they go 90% in high school. So you can't make it make sense to me when you're telling me 80-70% of your team needs to be the portal. That doesn't make any sense to me. And you still can't beat the Nichols, the Southeast Louisianas, the Sanfords. You can't beat these guys. But this is the model you want to take when the best of the best are not taking that model. Somebody's got to make it make sense to me. I don't give a damn that they're the Scotty, they're the state. That doesn't matter when it comes to their philosophy on how they take players. Now, resources, money, and all that. Okay, I get it. But 90% of their roster ain't from Montana. It ain't from North Dakota.
I want to touch on something that Rocky just said. You don't really have to have this great recruiting budget to recruit. No, you don't.
And the SWAC's recruiting budget isn't that much lower than like we removed, like, again, and Mr. Cable, I told you this is going to happen. We were on the phone call.
Yep.
Just having that data point was going to have people lost in the conversation. Focus on these 4 schools right here that I'm highlighting. The SWAC is not just leaps and bounds behind Incarnate Word, Sanford, Stephen F. Austin, or Tennessee Tech in recruiting budget or anything.
Well, Blue, here's the thing. Every school in the SWAC, I can just pull the surprise. Every single school in the SWAC, maybe outside of FAMU, and I'm only going by location, watch this, has a 6-hour radius that they recruit from. Every last one of them. Because, like, for example, in Jackson, you touch 6 hours, you're touching Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, Florida, and Georgia, right? Every school in the SWAC is going to hit that 6-hour radius. So you can miss me on that bull drive about recruiting, and you don't have to have this great budget to go out and recruit guys. You do not. I'm telling you firsthand knowledge of what the staff does at Jackson State and other staffs as well. And the one coach who actually changed that was Chad Germany when he came to Jackson State. Dude literally was on a computer, Scotty, getting it out the mud and was getting damn good guys. All those guys that when Coach Prime first got here, Chad Germany, Warren Newman, all those DBs, that was Chad Germany. All those damn good players out of New Orleans, Louisiana, it was Chad Germany on the damn computer, getting it out the mud. You do not have to have this crazy recruiting budget. You used to back in the day when everybody had this stick media guide and you were mailing out letters every day. It's a whole new landscape now. Because guess what? We don't need paper. We got the internet.
I can message you right on Twitter. Hey,
look, internet, and I got your phone.
Come on.
Twitter does amazing things. Trust me when I tell you. So you don't have to have this great budget. That's hogwash.
Yeah, because so these coaches are not going and watching every kid play high school football on a Friday night. That's not how that works. So let's stop that. And so
catapult and huddle.
We used to have that rule when we had a sports day. It was called 6 hours or your cousin. Either we drove 6 hours from Atlanta or somebody related to you so we could get to you. So my thing is, again, with the footprint, and let's be clear, Scotty just hit it. I don't keep saying it, and thank you, Blue, the comparison of the teams that are in our footprint, same type of budget. These are not superpower teams that's winning FBS championships every year. They're right on our level. And you look at the players, and I'm going to say this again. If you go look at some of those players, and we could really get in there, how many of them did their footprint HBCU did they offer them? Did they talk to them? Did they try to recruit them? That's the question that you need to ask.
Yeah,
because
Rocky,
again,
you got to get off of NDSU, man. Like, focus on the schools and the footprint. He didn't say focus on NDSU. Focus on why Nichols can beat Southern by 60 points every year.
And let me say this, and Joe's gonna back me up on this. Nothing against Nichols, right? I'm pretty sure it's good. Southern has a law school, a nursing school, alumni. I'm just sorry. Nichols alumni,
better city.
Alumni.
Location.
So my thing is, if you're saying what are we going to get from the school, Southern is 10 times a better school than Nichols. It's point blank, period. So again, to your point, is that we're not even touching these kids, and when our advantage is that advantage, the fan base, playing in front of people that are going to incubate you, get you a job when you graduate, but you're not even recruiting the kid to even find out.
And again, I'm going to say this. Nobody's saying that the whole team needs to be high school. Nobody's saying that, right? No. Because again, when you're walking into a situation, some kids are going to stay. 50% might stay, 50% might leave. You're going to have a fluctuation of talent. But again, when you're trying to build a recruiting class, 75 to 80% should be in high school. And then again, if you need to go get you a quarterback right now to fill that hole, if you need to go get you a linebacker, if you need to go get you a DN, if you need to go get you a tackle, something like, okay, cool, you got the onesies and twosies at the portal that you're trying to go get. Hey, just want to stabilize. But if I'm being really honest, y'all can't coach. I'm just listen, man. It don't matter what you get. Because I'm telling you, I've seen kids very talented. I'm like, how are you losing? Or you gotta, and I love to use this example, Navy, right? If you don't know how Navy works, they are not allowed to miss tape. They can't, they have to be a certain size. The neck has to be a certain proportion. The stomach has to be a certain, they can't be overweight linemen. That's why they run the scheme that they run, because my lineman can't be a sloppy 305 and just because they have to meet uniform standard of the military. So what do? Hey, listen, we're quicker, we're faster, we're just going to move this thing. We're not trying to power anybody down. We cutting and we moving. That is high level coaching, because I'm not going to power football with you because I don't have the power players. So now you know what that opens me up to? It opens me up to getting 5 tight ends instead of have to trying to find 5 guys at a 305. You see what I'm saying? And that's my thing, is that you got to find what fits your players. Hey, UAPB, I don't have 5 Mark Evans. I got smaller guys. So what I got, we got to move this thing. We got to get people moving and going. So again, at the end of the day, most of the Alabama just can't coach.
Hey, Scotty, can you do me a favor? Can you pull up Rocky's comment? Because I don't, right here, we said the budget paying all expense paid trips to Jackson. Can you pull that up?
Man.
So let me answer this, because I literally, and Zoe, you're going to be able to jump on this, and Blue, you too. This is not how it works. When a kid wants to come to our school, Ahmad Parker, one of the best quarterbacks in the state of Georgia, Coach Eugene coaches him. He said, Mr. Campbell, he wants to come to HBCU. I got him on the recruiting list. His mother and father and little brother drove to Tallahassee. They didn't get paid to come to Tallahassee, and they enjoyed the trip. So tell me if I'm wrong. Jackson State homecoming. How many of those kids say, I want to come to Jackson State homecoming? Does Jackson State pay for those kids coming to Jackson State homecoming?
Jackson, let me make an easy answer for you. This is very easy. You're only allowed to have so many OVs.
Yep.
You're only allowed to have so many OVs for kids. So guess what? The majority of visits that you have are going to be unofficial visits. I'm going to say this again. The majority of visits that you're going to have from kids, by far and away, are unofficial visits.
Please explain what an unofficial visit is.
Unofficial visits mean they're similar in nature to an official visit, but that's when you pay on your own dime. The school will still do some things to not roll out the red carpet for you, but roll out a green carpet to make it more advantageous, because they know that you're coming. But you pay your own way. You pretty much take care of your own lives and everything else. You're coming on your own. And you can have as many unofficial visits as you like. But official visits, kids, I think they get 6 now, 5 or 6 official visits. That's when the school rolls out the red carpet for you. They pay for your lodging, pay for your travel. You get the whole shebang, roll it out and everything. They're selling to you to get you here. You can only come to Jackson State one time on an OV. Once. You can only go to Southern one time. After that, you got FOMO. That's it.
But it's
these kids are not doing this. One thing, these kids with their parents are coming because they want to be part of this. One I'm saying, I literally just brought a kid to the Jackson State game with Bruce Eugene. Got himself. Parents came. So this is what our recruiting budget is. So I want to be clear on that. We're not paying.
But hold on. Let me say this, Rocky. The thing that you're not understanding is that's not a hard price point for any HBCU. That's not hurting anybody's. That's not a thing that's oh my God, that's hurting their pockets to do that. It's really not. And I'm speaking from firsthand experience, because being a part of Jackson State's rollout when we have official visits, because we will come in and we're interviewing the players. It was a wonderful thing that Deion Sanders did, and TC. You know, we have them come in. They have the whole thing, and it's laid out perfectly well. Deion Sanders set that thing up. Jackson State to roll with it. It's a beautiful thing. Honestly, if you come to Jackson on an official visit, and I'm from Jackson, you'll think Jackson is a whole different city when you come on an official visit. I swear to God. I promise you, you're gonna fly into the airport. Jackson headquarters is the Sheraton right there by the airport. Trust me, when you come, they get the whole layout. You come in, we interview you, the whole thing. It's dope. But you only got so many of those. Yeah. But every HBCU can do that. That's not a cost thing that's hurting them, or you know what I'm saying, or oh my God, it's too much money. It's not at all. No.
And especially like that, that's not the reason that Southern is not out recruiting Nichols or Southeastern Louisiana, or Texas Southern's getting out recruited by Incarnate Word, is because of recruiting budgets and official visits. Like, have you been to Incarnate Word? I haven't, and I don't want to really. It's literally just in the middle of San Antonio.
And,
It
and,
looks
and
like
have
a
you seen
two-way
their stadium?
It's a two-way high school stadium.
Bro, when we played Texas State last year, man, I made it went to go see it, bro.
Yeah, it's insane, bro. They are out recruiting every school in the SWAC.
It's like Valley. I'm dead
It's
serious.
worse than Valley Stadium.
It's like it's like Valley Stadium. Swear to God.
No, that was hilarious. Blue was like, no, and I don't get it. He's like, no, and I just like that because this is what.
Let me just say this. Let me just make this point too, because again, when we talk about HBCU, we always have this thing about lesser than, and I'm serious, man. If you look at the landscape of FCS stadiums, and I told Scotty about this, I went to Western Kentucky for a homecoming. My girl's nephew plays there, bro. Their stadium is basically Alcorn Stadium. This is an FBS school. It looks good now. It looks good. But it's like it's 21,000. It holds 21,000. But if you look at the stadiums in the SWAC, like Southern Stadium holds 28,500. You know, we can get to semantics about having a track around it. But again, Southern Stadium, though it's old, it still could be revamped and look nice.
Yeah.
Alabama State Stadium. I mean, the vet is old, but still it's got the size. But then Alabama A&M got a nice stadium. You know, Bragg got some nice numbers. Then you look at Alabama A&M, they have a nice stadium. I'm like, we have nice venues. Incarnate Word is like Valley, bro. And I'm talking about they getting players. Now, granted, they got to stick out some ton bits of money going on over there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about the facilities. I'll make this point and I'll be quiet. I told Scotty, I didn't even know this. Bro, Western Kentucky does not have a training table. Do you hear what I'm saying? Jackson State are feeding their players better than Western Kentucky. That's an FBS program. But we look at HBCUs like everything is just the worst of the worst. It's not the case. So to Blue's point, there are things that we could do on our end where we can win these battles and be better than some of these schools, but we're missing the boat and we're dropping the ball and we're not putting our best foot forward.
Zach, how is Incarnate Word getting these kids? In just your opinion and your thoughts of what you've seen around this landscape, how are we getting out recruited?
I don't even have a good answer for you, Scotty, because I know that some of the kids on the team, bro, they don't have an NIL thing going on there. They ain't making more money than teams are paying in the SWAC. So is it coaching? Is it competition? Like I don't, or are they just out working your coaches on the recruiting trail? Like that's a conversation. Dude, like you look at that staff, they're all young, right? Like the quarterback coach is Kenny Hill, the old Texas A&M quarterback. Young, like 29, 30. And so maybe you're just getting out recruited. So that's the thing. Like, that's what frustrates me. And I've talked to Mr. Campbell about this a ton is like with me covering the entire FCS, do I understand why those top schools are the top schools? Yeah, I do. But it blows my mind that Incarnate Word and Nichols and UT Martin and all these other schools that I've been to and I've seen with my own eyes, Western Carolina, are out recruiting some of these HBCUs where, man, I go to the games, man, it's packed out. Tailgating's amazing. Campus is better. There's more things to do. Like, I mean, for me, even thinking about myself as a player, man, I could go to Southern or Jackson over some of these other FCS programs, knowing everything I know about it. So, like, that's the frustrating part for me is how are you getting out recruited when, yes, like financially, you might not have all the advantages right under funding and things like that, but literally every other box you have checked and they don't.
Yeah.
So it can only be one thing. It has got to be the coaches not doing their job on the recruiting trail. It's got to be you not identifying the right talent and missing talent that's going to these other schools. And it's just laziness.
Yep.
Or not knowing how to sell your program.
Yep.
Ms. Campbell, what you got?
You know, man, you sit back and you listen to all of this. It just goes back to show you the opportunities that we have, right, in recruiting. That's my biggest thing. The opportunities that I see that each team in the SWAC, MEAC, that can really turn a program around. And again, I want to make a statement about that FAMU team. A lot of people swore that FAMU had all these transfers. Blue just showed you numbers. And what we did, and you're going to see this with Jack State and top level teams, is guess what? It's not don't have transfer. It's about having a selected transfer. Yes, we had a Musa. Yes, we had a Marcus Riley. Yes, we had an Anthony Dunn. But again, the baseline to fill out the team was still Florida guys.
Yeah.
Still high school guys.
Yeah.
That still understood it. So you still had, again, and a coach that had been there that knew what he wanted. The flip side of that is now you're moving to where you don't have that baseline and you got all these guys, like I say, 30, 40 guys coming in every time, 30, 40 guys coming in. And there's no roots that are being laid to set a foundation for a championship type team.
I just say a good barometer. You look at Jack State backfield. You know, you look at last week, you had 3 guys run for over 100 yards. Well, 2 of those guys came straight out of high school. Only one is a transfer. And, you know, the tie-in to that one transfer is TC's nephew. Travis Terrell is a high school recruit.
Yep.
Ahmad Miller's a high school recruit. Davenport is a transfer in. He's from Mississippi. And, by the way, it's the coach's nephew. So, again, that number still kind of sways it. 2 out of 3 players, and those 2 out of 3 are high school players. You just need to have the roster show that as well. And guess what? By and large, for the past few years, been the best team in the conference. And guess what? And when we were dubbed as the second best team, damn it, they did the same thing. Mostly high school kids.
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get people texting me on the show. Listen. Listen, I absolutely love this. I think the thing, and it goes back to the recruiting show that I want to do with Blue and Zoe when it comes to breaking this all down and understanding what we're missing. Listen, man, sometimes, if we're being honest, and I know a lot of schools do it, sometimes you might need to just keep up with Incarnate Word and see what they offer. You know what I'm saying? Just like, oh, listen.
What did I say?
Listen, if you're doing the hard work for me, and I just so happen to peep over and say, oh, you got Johnny, huh? Let me see what Johnny working with. You know what I'm saying? But again,
instead, Incarnate Word stealing your players. You go look at these rosters and it's Alabama State transfer, Jackson State transfer, PV transfer. Like Tarleton's best player last year came from UAPB and Kayvon Britton.
Yeah.
FCS All-American. How does that happen?
And look, doing nothing to UAPB, now he's in the Carter Award and having great production. So that goes with what we said earlier. Evaluating the talent, you seeing it, getting it there, but you got to develop it. You got to develop it.
Kills me, man. Like I hate to see that. And
again, we talk about Quincy Ivory country. We talk about Quincy Ivory. It's a fucking backup quarterback at Valley.
and the only reason he became a DN is when he went to JUCO, they switched him. They said, hey, we think you'll be better with your hand in the ground. Now, mind you, you've been at Valley for the last year. Nobody thought to do that since you couldn't get on the field. 6'5", just a 6'5" quarterback just standing there. Coaching. The Bama put his hand in the dirt in JUCO. I think he got like 8 or 9 sacks. Got an offer from Florida.
And as a borderline, potentially going to be a free agent NFL player.
Oh, he gonna make it.
He gonna make it. He's Measurables.
He's good too. Like he's so good on film.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's the part where I'm just like, this game goes.
Wait a minute, hold on. But listen, what I'm trying to tell you. This goes back to what I'm saying. If you line up the coaches of yesteryear and you look at what they recruited, and when you got pictures of Bear Bryant going to see Jake Gaither, and you've got Woody Hayes with a picture going to see Eddie Robinson, to learn from them. Understand this. To learn from them. We do not have that same knowledge now where you can take a player and turn them into All-Americans, to all pro and greatest of all time list. Not no one top 100. We're talking about top 10 players.
And Steve ain't lying. You better give that picture some context too. Because in that photo, Jay Gaither is telling Bear Bryant, because he didn't want to believe in that split line T. That was the offense called a split line T. And Jay Gaither famously said, "Look, I could take mine and beat yours, and then take yours and beat mine again with the same offense."
That's tough.
It's fact.
Yeah, that's gold.
Hold on. And if you remember the Titans when Coach Boone said, "I like them agile, mobile, and high style," he got that from Jay Gaither.
That's dope. That's dope. Blue, I know you got to roll out, man. Go ahead and get yourself prepared for your next show, bro. Love you, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate y'all, man. This was a great show, man. Hey,
great job,
Scotty.
Great
job.
We got to get damn good work, bro. Damn good work.
Recruiting show together. National Signing Day coming up, man. We got to get that in the works.
We definitely will. We'll get it going.
Damn good work, Blue.
Hey, I think at the end of the day, my whole thing with what everything that Blue consolidated and everything that he showed, at what point do we really start looking? Because again, everybody can't get a celebrity. And we understand that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't get a celebrity. I'm not saying all celebrities are going to work. But if we just, why can't we go over and just grab some of these white, black, I don't give a damn who, and have them come over and take some of these philosophies and bring them to the SWAC?
It's a multitude of reasons, Scotty. I think the main thing for me, the main problem is I think we tend to automatically look for, a lot of people, man, just look for to tell you reasons why something can't work as opposed to giving you reasons why it will work.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. They can tell you everything, like we can tell you the cost of everything, but we know the value of nothing. And my thing is we look for excuses more so than we look for solutions. We look for problems rather than we look for solutions. And so that's the main thing. You know, we could tell you, oh man, like in the example that Cozy used, you know, I barely got 4 months. Well, see, to me, that answer dictates the problem. Don't worry about the time. Just stack the days. All you gotta do is win.
And at the
don't
end
worry
of the
about.
day, he's in a time where there was multiple portals, so he could get whatever he wanted at whatever time.
But Scott, my thing is, regardless if he could or if he couldn't, don't fuck the 4 months. Win the day, win the games.
Yeah.
The time gonna take care of itself. Because guess what? If Cozy don't go 7-5 last year, let's say he goes 8-4. He don't have to win a championship every year. Let me just say this too. Contrary to popular belief, you ain't gonna win a championship every year. You ain't gotta win every year. Do you gotta win? Hell yeah, you do. But you know the main thing over everything, Scotty, is how you look.
Come on, competitive.
It's how you look.
Yeah.
Because Eddie Robinson didn't win every year. No, he didn't. But the thing is how you look. If you can look good, being 6-6.
That's what Eddie Robinson, if we're being honest, that's what Eddie Robinson is doing. He hasn't won a championship, but you're just like, the team has always looked good.
And guess what? And you can't, because if you look at what Eddie Robinson came into, what the previous coach did, he's already exceeded the previous coach ahead of him. But no, he has not won a championship, but he's done everything to us, got to be on the cusp of it. And so he's untouchable. He really, really is. But the thing is, that's why I say when it comes down to it, it's how it looks. But the point I'm trying to make is regards to Cozy, man, fuck the time, man. Just do the work and win.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If he wins 8 games this year, yeah, will some people be pissed off? Yeah, but that's just the nature of it. Black people gonna do it anyway. But give it 72 hours. But if you win 8 games or 8-9 games every year, man, at some point you gotta win it. Because guess what? If Cozy win 8-9 games every year, if FAMU does get pissed off and decide to let him go, Scott, he gonna have plenty of people knocking down the door to come get him. Plenty. But watch this. As it stands now, we all can sit here and say, no, they ain't. Not right now. No, they not. Will he be a DC?
But Willie proved that model. He won 9 games every year, and then he had the breakthrough year. But I to tell you the point, and this goes for any team, is about how it looks. And again, this is not me just piling on. This is a fact. Nobody cares about the record. What we care about how you play. You can't have a game against Alabama State and you get a 40-point blowout. You can't have a game against North Carolina Central, have a 40-point blowout. You can't have a game against Jackson State and a 40-point blowout. Because if each one of those games were hard, I tell you what, if each one of those games was like Jackson State, Alabama State, where we came up short, you know what people say? He's building. RJ's a new quarterback. They're building. You can see it happen.
And guess what? And I'm going to have a buzz for next year.
Because they were saying have a buzz for next year. But those guys were in the fight. That was a national championship team. Central was supposed, Alabama State. So people would have been fine with that. But when you look and you get blown out by that level, then that's where it comes in about the evaluation of players that people say, wait a minute, you brought these guys in and they're playing on it's more on the defensive side. We can take the offense off the table for a second. The defensive guys that have been recruited, and they're only going to be there 1 year, and then they're gone. And this vicious cycle again these last 2 years, none of these guys have stayed to even develop.
Yep.
To see them get better.
Yeah, and again, it's the same thing I said with Southern, right? Like if you bring in a Marshall Faulk, and again, it's with Southern, even with Terrence Graves. It's not that people didn't like Terrence Graves. It's like what you're looking at on the field just didn't make sense. It just never came together.
It looked horrible. It looked
horrible. And then when you go into a Cozy, again, losing to Valley at home, okay, then you lose to PV, which they fired their coach at the end of the season. It's like, what are we doing? Like the Jackson State game, we'll give you that. It was a competitive game, came down to the last 2 minutes, whatever. If you win out the rest of the year, there's no hot seat talk for Cozy. Zero. But you lose the games that you lose, and then you come back next year and get blown out by all the best teams in every conference. That means you're not close, and you're not close by any means. So why do we need to keep you around? And it's the same thing with Alonzo Hampton. It's the same thing with that's why Mickey Joseph, I wouldn't be surprised if Mickey Joseph gets a third year. This whole year he's been competitive.
Hey, listen, well, he only got one more game. It's an automatic rollover.
So at the end of the day is that it's how it looks. And I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get your final thoughts and we'll roll up out of here. But the Marshall Faulk situation. Marshall Faulk, if he is indeed, word on the street is that it's a done deal, right? But if it is indeed he's the next head coach, he doesn't have to win a championship the first year.
No.
It has to look better than what it did last year.
That's all it does.
And he has to be competitive with Jackson. That's it. That's it.
Well, Scotty, you got to understand something. Again, I think the number is 3-26. The Southern, since the Dion era, that they're 3 against winning teams. So again, if you can flip that number, because again, this is Southern. You can't. And again, so listen, they are literally what, Zoe, between Jackson State and FAMU, what, 0-10? 0-11?
0-11, I think.
Like, I want to think about this. So these are the two name brand schools because the crossover, no matter what you
No. 0-14.
Okay, because they lost 5 to FAMU just in the conference. So you're talking 5. So there you go. So we're talking double digits.
0-14.
Well, the schools, again, that the SWAC is set up as a cross rival, name schools. So again, to your point, if Marshall comes in there and makes those games a fight, because those games, for you to win the West and get home field advantage, you got to win those games.
Yeah.
So that's what keeps them from not getting the home field advantage because they're losing to FAMU and Jackson State every year. You got to flip those same thing. Look at what happened to Prairie View. They had their shot. You beat Alabama State. Guess what? The SWAC championship game is at.
Well, I mean, that's why I even said the other day when they announced it, and I'm serious. The thing is, it got to look different, but on top of that, even if you don't win in year one, if we get a sense that it looks and feels different, we're looking at it like, okay, let's say they make the announcement as soon as the season concludes. From that moment on, and Scott, you can understand this, win the offseason. I'm not saying beat everybody in the offseason, but win the offseason, meaning do all these things, get a good staff together, generate some buzz, do all the things that we could do in the offseason because that's going to be the segue up until the actual season gets ready. Have a damn good spring season. People come to that blue and gold game or whatever they call it, and they're like, oh, man, I like the offense that we're running. It was vanilla, but, man, we're seeing some things that's generating more buzz. First game come, we'll have 12 games. Man, if Southern goes 6-6, they were one in freaking 11 the previous year.
Yeah,
we go 6-6, man, and that shit looks better. Oh man, Jaguar Nation gonna be in a buzz at the conclusion of that season.
Yeah,
I tell you what, let's say they lose to FAMU and Jack State, but they beat Grambling and they finish 6-6, and it looks
beat
good.
Texas Southern, beat
and
Alcorn.
or they beat Prairie View, Texas Alcorn.
Yeah,
and they're 6-6, and it looks good. Man, Jaguar Nation gonna be in a tizzy because now.
You got
talking about segue in the year 2 because 6-6 is the winning season. It's 500. Whoa, 1-11 the year before.
Yeah.
So my thing is everything's in context. Now I hear smash. We want ASAP, but guess what? Ain't nobody gonna be sitting there saying if you go 6-6, we want to fire Marshall Faulk. You can cut the cap on that. You could even the most crazy, diehard, delusional, beige Southern fan. You go 6-6, you ain't gonna be talking about fire Marshall Faulk. Oh, I know Southern. Look, I lived in Baton Rouge 5 years. Trust me, I deal with them all the time. Ain't no Jag fan talking about we're gonna fire Marshall Faulk. You go 6-6. Not a year one. That ain't happening.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
That ain't happening.
But all right, last points, Mr. Campbell. Great. Listen, this show is brought to you by Mr. Campbell. Let me just make sure that great idea, great concept. Put all of us together and was like, hey, let's do it. And this was absolute buzz. So, Mr. Campbell, final thoughts.
Hey, this was not to bash any coach or anybody's philosophy. This is more for the alumni and the fans to really understand how championship teams are built. So no matter what your coach does, we wanted to give you the numbers because what we have, and you guys know this, we got a lot of people that talk about a lot of things and they don't know what they're talking about. And my biggest thing as an alum who financially supports the school, as many of you all do, we want to just know what is the way, the proper way, and to support our schools. Again, there's nothing wrong. Look at Prairie View. That was the best thing for them to do. Go to the portal, flip it. Same thing for Deshaun Jackson. But again, when you're looking at a legacy school, I think FAMU has the ability to always build and always be consistent. So I want to thank you, Scotty, because again, when I thought about this, I thought about you, I thought about Zoe. And hey, look, shout out to Blue because I called him first because I knew it wasn't going to work unless he did that heavy lifting. So I want to say I really appreciate that and appreciate this. And I want to thank everybody that took the chance to watch. And, thank you for allowing me to be on the program.
Absolutely. Zoe, what you got?
No, man, I just want to add, man, listen, we love data. Data shows it, and it's been this way for years now. We look at what the perception of the SWAC is, and yes, there is tons of talent within this conference. From a facility standpoint, we're nowhere as bad as what people may perceive us all to be as a whole. So the facilities are there. The infrastructure is there. The optics are there. The product as a whole, it ain't there, and we need to get it there. I've seen what it looked like. Steve saw what it looked like. I was a kid in the 80s. I lived through the 90s. I've seen it at its best, right? And there's no reason why we can't get it back there. No, we may not be getting the best of the best, but you're still getting enough talent to where you can actually change some things. And the main thing over everything, bro, is we got to do better. We got to recruit better. We got to coach better. We got to market better. We got to advertise better. We got to cheer better. We got to be better fans.
That's good.
We got to get our product better to make it be what it truly can be. The end is not what we are. I know a lot of times even my old man be like, man, the SWAC is weak. It don't have to be. We can be better. We need to schedule better. We need to do some things differently. Like I told Scotty, in the early 90s, Jack State was playing Southland all the time. We were playing Northwestern State at home and home. We were playing Stephen F. Austin, home and home. We was doing those things. We got to get back to doing it. Scheduling, winning these games, and changing the perception of the conference. Because, again, having 4 teams with a winning record, bro, and all your wins are mostly just conference games, it's not going to cut the mustard, bro. We need to schedule out better outside of conference, win those damn games, and guess what? It's going to hit different when you got 8 and 9 teams with winning records and we're beating each other. Because now when you have a Jack State beating Alabama State, whatever, going to the SWAC championship game, now it's going to be at an all-time fever pitch, and it's going to mean something. Because, damn, Alabama State was good. Alabama and Jack State don't have just one win against a team with a winning record. And then when you finally play somebody good, you lose. It won't be none of that. It'll be good on good. And then, because watch this, because all y'all know what I'm about to say. It's the one thing I hate. Scotty, you don't know about this, but Steve do. Because you know what we all say to each other? You ain't good, you just SWAC good. We want to change this shit. We want SWAC good to be, oh yeah, you good as hell because you SWAC good.
Yeah.
We want to flip that shit.
That's good. I love it. Hey,
Scotty, one last thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're doing a watch party Saturday, right? Delaware State.
Of course. That's 1 o'clock, man. Early as a mug, but yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure. If I got it started until you finish with the kids, we're going to just want to let people know. Come right back. This same crew going to be right here.
I'm going to tell you, I might, but I ain't going to make no promise.
Oh, yeah, you got all cool. I'm sorry. So you got a game.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Me and the Miz might be.
Oh, yeah, do your thing. You know what I mean? Listen,
maybe not.
If Keith say no, it's a no-go for me, so it ain't no change.
Well, I'll hold it down until somebody join me. Somebody join me.
Rocky will probably jump on there with you as well. Hey, man, listen, I want to give a shout out to my boy Blue.
Yeah, damn good work, Blue. Damn good work.
Blue, man, walking encyclopedia. You know the boy wonder. Appreciate him. Zach McKinnell, as he goes by, his real name, but I'll call him my boy Blue. Hey, listen, man, I appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Listen, until next time, What I'm gonna do? I'm a holler. God bless.